Hey everyone, this is your host Anirban, and you are watching the Growth Flywheel podcast. Today I have Vaishnavi Bhupalam. She is from Bangalore and she is one of those finest personal brand strategists on LinkedIn. Right now, she is building influence media, and apart from that, she has a robust experience. So, welcome to the podcast, Vaishnavi.
Hi, that was a very sweet intro. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Vaishnavi, currently you are working on influence media. Also, you have worked as a social media strategist. Also, you help people to build their personal brand. So, how is your experience so far?
It's been great. I think for me, essentially, I started off as a ghostwriter at Growth Square, and then that's where I actually got like first-hand experience, and then I pivoted into personal branding. Matlab, prior to that, I did not even know that you would get paid to ghostwrite for founders, or
Right,
I figured out that LinkedIn is a space to monetize your skills only after that exposure. So I
right,
think even prior to that, I did work with brands and it was through a few internships and gigs. So the
right.
exposure has been great. I've personally collaborated with some brands and I've also helped execute for some brands. Currently, we are pivoting properly towards influencer marketing. So it's challenging, but I would say it's an equally fun ride to sort of balance it as a creator and an executor.
Right. So, you have mostly invested your time in building personal brands. So, what led you to personal branding?
So I started writing on LinkedIn around like 18 months ago, and I would just authentically post content. Like I had no niche. I would just very randomly. So I think the primary foundation was I began writing for myself, and I went from 0 to 10K in less than 4 months, and it was crazy because I just wrote for myself. So I never even thought people would start reading it. In the process, what happened was I saw an opening at the Growth Square, and then I applied. And even prior to that, I had people asking me in my DMs. They would be like, "Hey, your posts are great. So would you mind taking, our profile and would you mind doing it for us?" Initially, I was very scared, but I think once I saw the credentials and credibility they had and they believed in me, I started as a freelancer. So it was an inbound lead from my content, and I think they said that they would pay around 5 to 7 thousand, and I was very happy. So that's how the
Hmm.
journey started, and I wrote around 10 posts for that guy. He was from pharma background and he was a director. He just wanted posts. There was no engagement and there was no outreach. So I think that was my breakthrough into personal branding as a freelancer.
Right. So right now you are pivoting to influencer marketing. So do you think that personal branding space is more crowded now, or what led you to pivot to influencer marketing?
Definitely, I feel like personal branding is not just scattered, but like you have every other agency or every other LinkedIn influencer claims to give the personal branding service. But again, if it's legitimate or if it's actually something that will yield results, you don't know. It's funny because I see people with like 200, 300 followers calling themselves a personal branding strategist. Like, I do believe in their abilities, but I feel like the market is crowded, yes. It's hard to stand out. Like, you need to stand
Mhm.
out with laser focused personal branding, and you need to have the right tips and tricks, and you need to make sure that you cater to one particular ICP. So I feel like the way people map to their ideal clients, or they have the whole system, is a little scattered and far-fetched. But it's also because there's a lot of competition and personal branding has become very common on LinkedIn. So that's one. The reason why I pivoted into influencer marketing was because when I was working with brands, I figured out that even they had a requirement. Like, a lot of brands struggle to stand out on LinkedIn, and because I was a creator myself, I had brands come out to me and ask me for profiles. They would be like, "Hey, we have a requirement. Do you have any friends who would want to do that?" So I think something that started as a process of the journey led to this. But yeah, like right now, we operate in both verticals and both are exciting, but we're more into the influencer marketing space as of now.
So Vaishnavi, we all know you as a personal strategist, we all know you as a co-founder, but if we remove these tags from you,
Hmm.
right? If we only talk about Vaishnavi Bhupalam, who is Vaishnavi Bhupalam in real life?
I'm a very goofy person. I love singing. I watch a lot of shows. I have a small circle, but maybe you'll just find me hustling or you'll find me cafe hopping. I'm also spiritual by nature. I love traveling and I'm not a calm person. I do act very crazy at times. It's like my work personality, my online and offline personalities are very, very different.
Right. So have you ever faced anything or have you ever achieved anything in your work for your personality?
For personality, I think the biggest win for me is that I came out of my comfort zone. So I would
Mm,
really struggle to express myself. Like initially, when I started writing on LinkedIn, I would think a lot of times if I have to post this or not, because there were pieces of content that were very vulnerable. Like deep down, I knew that if I post this, it might relate with a lot of people. But again, it is at the cost of me revealing something that's very dear to me. And it's something that I've not told to a lot of people. So I think the biggest win is that I've learned being very authentic. I've learned being very bold. Like right now, I don't think a lot before posting something very vulnerable or sensitive. So I'm like, if it helps someone, great. Because I feel like even for me, it's like a medium where I went out on LinkedIn. So it's become more like an open book for me to vent out. It's crazy,
right,
but yeah.
right. So you have said that you have got 10,000 followers in the very first 4 months. So what are the strategies did you follow?
I'll be very honest. So initially, when I started writing, I did not have a niche. But I
Mhm.
think what I did was I made sure that my writing had a set structure and format. Like I would follow Jasmine and Alex Hormozy and Unnati and Vedika and all of these people. So I would consume a lot of content. So because I consumed a lot of content, I think even though I was not proficient in this, I had an idea as to how to write a good
Mm,
LinkedIn post. And then maybe that sort of helped. So I also networked with a lot of people on LinkedIn, like from marketing spaces, from personal branding spaces, and I took guidance from them and I made sure to get my post reviewed like before the first initial few posts. So I would also do a lot of scrolling on LinkedIn, like mindful consuming, and I would
right.
network with the right people. So I think for me, it's that the growth has come through personal stories, like from being vulnerable, from being very transparent. So definitely that's one. The networking, then get reviewed by the right people. So these three are.
Mm-hmm. Right now, in the age of AI, like the feed is crowded with AI written content, AI written comments. So I think that personal content, BTS content, or something very, very raw, unfiltered contents are working very well. So
Correct.
as you have mentioned that when you started, you actually did some vulnerable content, raw content. Maybe that was the only thing that worked the best.
Correct, correct. Absolutely. I I don't even remember talking anything about the industry or putting like educational case study, because I think 80% of the chunk, at least even when I meet people online, I think they're like your content is relatable and it hit an emotional trigger in us. So I think the crux of my content was that emotional connection, or maybe more into
Mm.
tapping into the psychology of the readers.
Right. So you have worked in ACL Technologies, Easy Peasy Tales as a marketing specialist, as a content writer. Also, you have worked in Gavtech Inc, uh, Viral Fission. So, do you think these experiences actually helped you to build your own personal brand and build a freelancing career for you?
Definitely. So if I talk about personal branding, then maybe they have had a role, but not like a very strong role, I would say, because again, personal branding is more specific to LinkedIn, but everything I did here were mostly related to marketing, distribution, strategy, and supply chain. So though it was a little different, definitely the skills that I took from here made my storytelling better. The way I portray myself, I think that was better, and the way I write, the way I express, everything got better. So eventually, as a result of all of it, I think what accumulated just showed up on LinkedIn.
So, also, Favicon highlighted you as the top 40 worldwide marketing specialist on LinkedIn. So, do you think the credibility of the people who are also getting listed on these kind of sites are actually true, or people are faking on LinkedIn as well?
I think I have a 50-50 take on this.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Favikon has been running since a few years, but I think it's become more prominent since the last year.
Mm,
Because initially, when we started writing, it was a very alien term. And they do release their versions like every once a while. I feel like the people who actually like network with them, I think they have a better spotlight.
mm,
But so the favoritism or getting noticed angle, like first eye from the team, and then you bonding a personal connection and them putting it for you because you approach them, is something that I've heard happens, but I don't know to what extent. So that is one. But yeah, apart from that, I also know a lot of people who are micro creators or like nano creators who've actually come up on Favicon. So obviously, they wouldn't be the person, like they wouldn't be the people who would text these founders and
right.
team and let them know. So I think For nano and micro creators, I think it's pretty much valid. The work has been analyzed and then they've been declared the sort of stats that they have. But for mega creators, I think it's a little dicey.
So Vaishnavi, do you operate in any other platform or do you only operate on LinkedIn?
I used to write on Quora,
Mm-hmm.
but that was in the pre-COVID era when I was really bored and I was like in my college. I used to yap a lot on Quora, but then after I started LinkedIn, I lost the touch.
Mm-hmm.
I also wrote a few articles on Substack, but again, I couldn't find the time. So,
Right.
apart from LinkedIn, you will find me. Yeah, I've also started writing on Threads. I do a lot of shit posting actually. It's not anything that's like educational, but I think you'll see the other side of me on Threads and like the neutral version of me on Quora and Substack and like the most professional side on LinkedIn. LinkedIn being the most active with Threads as of now.
So let's talk about monetization. So what was your first income stream as a creator?
My first income stream was freelancing. So, like I told you, I started writing for this guy from the pharmaceutical industry, right? So, he paid around 7,000 and he wanted a couple of posts that he wanted me to write. So, that was my first, and like, that was my first client, and it was my breakthrough into personal branding. And then, luckily, what happened? I applied to Growth Square, and then they liked my LinkedIn profile, they liked my presence, and they liked the way I wrote for other people. So I think that also the freelancing gig was a very short term period because I was very uncertain. I wanted something stable, so that also led me to converting the job at Growth Square.
Mm.
So you can actually say that my first job's income was also because of personal branding.
So what are the main revenue streams you have today?
Today it's been diversified. One definitely it's Confluence. So we operate in three verticals. One is influencer marketing. We connect creators to brands and we help them execute campaigns across LinkedIn and we've recently started Instagram. So that second, we are also creative agency, meaning we help brands stand out. We help them with positioning
Mm.
and we build marketing roadmaps and funnels and all of that. So the creative strategy is another vertical. And third is personal branding that we actually restarted recently because there was a time where I was maybe heavily carried away with influencer marketing and it was very interesting. So these three verticals. And apart from that, I also do brand collaborations on LinkedIn. So that is another income stream. And also planning to start digital products. I'm not sure how would that go, but let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about brand collaboration and all, how do you get those deals?
Okay, so in the start, I think my first brand collaboration was when I had 14,000 followers. I definitely
Mhm.
did not know that you would even get paid. I actually networked with people. I knew this person from IT and IM. I asked him, I was like, can you help me get a brand collaboration? And then my first brand collaboration happened through referral. Like they referred my profile, and then the agency people reached out. So now it's like I have the contact with a lot of agency people because they've seen my content and a lot of agencies are connected to me. It's mostly inbound, like I get it from the agencies or the brand POCs itself. Or if I see some brand and I feel like, I love the brand, I want to collaborate with them, I look up for the marketing executives or the chairman or anyone in PR or marketing and I reach out to them. I'm like, hey, I love this campaign, I would love to collaborate. So it's both ways now.
Mhm. So what happens, sometimes we get inbound deals where
Correct.
they ask generally like, hey, can you please promote this? Hey, can you please talk about this? It goes against our will. So how do you
Correct.
deal in that cases?
I actually rejected two brand collabs, and that actually meant saying no to a proper five-figure amount. And I think it was very hard for me, but normally, like if you would scroll on LinkedIn, maybe you wouldn't find it that offensive. But as a woman, if you talk about such a sensitive topic, then definitely I think it would come off as derogatory. So I wouldn't take the name of the brand, but it was a billboard, and they had a very double meaning Gen Z caption written. So even a few words were like, like it's the sort of words that you talk to your friends, like you don't find them on professional platforms. So
Right.
they wanted me to promote about how the campaign is and how fun it is. So I had another friend, and even she's like, "No, I don't think we should do this." So because of that moral support, I said no, and I'm glad I did because every content piece you put out really is a reflection of the reputation you've built. So, uh, yeah,
Actually, if we see mostly when the people we love or we follow, if they are
correct.
doing something odd means like if they are promoting something odd product or
Correct.
service or anything that is not aligning with your personal brand, then you lose the trust. So
Very true.
as a creator, it's our duty to make sure that whatever we are giving to our audience is not something what we generally won't be using or
Correct.
won't
What we
like.
don't preach.
Right.
But I did do a mistake. In initial days when I was collaborating with brands, you get into this mindset because it's easy money, right? Like you just have to write a post and then they give you a good chunk of money that you would actually get when you freelance and when you really work hard.
Right.
So I collaborated for a company that's into the sexual and wellness spaces. It was a billboard. I put it out very casually and I was like, it's okay, it's just a campaign. I think what followed later was regret. And I had people texting me, they were like, hey, are you sure you put this? So I think that's when it hit me like, no, you have people watching you, so you need to be really conscious of the decisions you take. So
Right.
that was a mistake. I actually learned a lot.
So right now you have around 56,000 followers. So what do you think? What were the main strategies that led you to 56,000 followers?
I think one is having a funnel distribution. Like
Mm.
I had a very set structure as to I'll do like one top of the funnel post, two middle of the funnel, and one bottom of the funnel. So having like
Right.
a good funnel distribution. Two is sticking to core niches, like building the thought leadership. And when people come on my feed, I want them to remember me for marketing or personal branding or for brand management. So I think actively posting educational content and case studies in those niches really helped connect better and discover people from those niches as well. Three, I would say being very vulnerable. Like you'll find a lot of random and personal stories that I've shared on LinkedIn. So I think just being yourself and being authentic. And fourth is don't gatekeep anything. Like, you'll actually have people on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure even you would have come across, like, you'll find people who are like, we made 6 figures, we closed 8 figures, we had so many clients, but like there's no proof.
Right.
So if I read, I'm like, how did you do it? Like at least upload a screenshot or maybe a testimonial, like maybe just conceal the name. So I think every claim that I make, I try to back it up with proof or quantified points so that lets people know that hey, I'm not faking, it's actually something that's genuine. So that, and fifth, I reply to DMs, I engage a lot, I make sure I'm there for people when they need me, I try making a difference in my community. So I think also that.
Yeah. When you have that kind of leverage, it's your duty to make sure that whenever people are coming across your profile, they are having the trust factor, because mostly people fake, like their motto of life is fake it till you make it, which I
Correct.
personally don't
They
believe.
take it way too seriously.
Right, and they actually do it. I saw that
Correct.
a 16-year-old guy is helping you to fix your mindset when the kid is not even aware of what is mindset and all.
Correct.
Again, I recently I saw a 22-year-old financial planner, and maybe he can learn about it. But
Correct.
again, like 22 is not something, not an age where you can actually plan that much, because you still need
Correct.
the time and do it on your own first.
Correct.
And of course, I always see, like recently I had, I have prospect, I would say. Actually, he didn't convert because his budget was very low. I said no, but his kid is only 9 year old, and he told me that my kid is a mindset coach. I was like, are you serious?
Mindset coach.
Yes, he's only 9, and his father thinks that he's a mindset coach, and he's actually, his father is actually sending him to events to attend and establish him as the mindset coach at the age of 9, where he should be doing something else, learning more about his life and all.
I'm sorry,
So
but this sounds very peculiar to me.
right, it's very odd. Like people are losing trust. Like even if you have the skill,
Correct.
people don't even trust you at first sight because they have already experienced that kind of downsides.
Yeah, like even I see 17-year-olds or 21-year-olds calling themselves as LOA coach and mental health coach. Like it's cool if you've been in the industry for at least 3-4 years and you have a good number of clients. But just because you yap something on LinkedIn or you just post a video, you can't call yourself that. Like you can't, it doesn't do justice to the title that you have.
Right. People just think that if they are writing it to their profile in the hero section,
No.
they will be that guru or coach.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say what happens on LinkedIn or any other platform. Let's say if you are on LinkedIn, if you talk about LinkedIn, the growth goes very steady. If you are on Twitter, if you are
Correct.
talking about Twitter, then the growth is very steady. And if you are Instagram, and if you are teaching Instagram, or if you're talking about Instagram, the growth remains very steady. But when it comes to the other niches, very narrow niches, like let's say if you're talking about finance, email marketing, or the other aspects of digital marketing, like ACO and all,
Correct.
How do you think, or what are the strategies do you suggest to follow in order to grow their
Mm-hmm.
personal brand in that kind of narrow niches?
Okay, email marketing definitely you, because I know very less people who kill it on LinkedIn, and you're definitely one of them. So you do a great job with email marketing. Uh, Finance, I think Akshay Srivastava is one, and you have Chandralekha, you have Neha Nagar, and all these people, Anushka Rathod. And then the other one was digital marketing, right? So I am not aware of someone who specifically is like into core digital marketing, but you have good marketing people. Like there's Sahiba Bali, there's Sahili Chatterjee for like again marketing and freelancing, and you have a few people from the US. So finding the exact core niche, I think it might be a task, but uh, see, like entirely on LinkedIn, if you want to show up, I think ultimately the five people that I would say are um, Unnati Bagga, because she writes really really well. Viveka Bhaiya and Sam Winsbury, he's the founder of a UK based agency. Even he writes really really well. Even Lara Costa is great. And
Okay.
then I think Mehdi Shifi or something is his name. So there's another guy with a Dubai based agency. So I think even his posts are really nice. And I was seeing the posts of two, three other founders that I really liked. So, like the founders of Shark Tank companies, you'll actually know if they are. Like their profile is optimized and they have hired someone who's in personal branding. So I think the founder of Zoff, I don't know his name, and Rimjim, the founder of Little Box, like I've been loving her posts. Like she posts a lot of thoughtful case studies and dissections and industrial breakdowns. Her niche is a little cluttered. It's into fashion and apparels, but I think the way she stands out and connects with people is amazing. So definitely all these. Okay, so one is definitely, I think, start charting the journey from beginning, because obviously when people would see your profile, they wouldn't know what digital marketing or what that niche you're talking about is. So plan a roadmap as to, like, if you were a teacher and you would actually have a curriculum designed for a kid, how would you do it? Like one, you start with what is it? Two, types. Three, you would relate to mentors or figures, and four, you would talk about your experience. So I think chart a roadmap and then start building the familiarity of the concept through your content from the very first day. Second, I would say engage and make that meaningful relationship with a lot of people from your niche, like connect with similar mentors, and if there are any people or role models you look up to in the similar niches, then connect with them and collaborate with them, because obviously when you collaborate, it'll also help in your visibility, plus you learn a lot from them. Three, engage and join LinkedIn groups where you find like-minded people, because you can, a lot of people ask their doubts and there's discussions and everything, so you can definitely contribute over there. Four, I would say start showing up on multiple platforms and not just LinkedIn. Like also show up on Instagram, Reddit, or Twitter, because it'll also help you repurpose those content pieces and sort of put them on LinkedIn, and it'll help you like sort of have that holistic presence. Because if you feel like your niche is a little too undermined or maybe a little too hollow, five, definitely it's to talk a lot about your niche. Like uh, put a lot of infographics, case studies, educational posts. If you run a company, then talk about how you get clients and just be very transparent. Like focus on a lot of middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel content. I would say heavily do top of the funnel and middle of the funnel, because that will help you with awareness and leadership building. So
Hmm.
then if actually sales is your goal, then maybe reduce it initially, because only when people believe you, they'll actually believe in what you have to offer. So have that persona build up, and then maybe after like a month or two, then start talking about your testimonials and success stories and behind the scenes and all of that.
Right. So, Vaishnavi, you have been writing on LinkedIn for the last 18 months. So, what does your weekly content system look like?
Right now it's a little laid back, I'm not gonna lie. Previously I would do like five posts a week. So two would be personal, two would be educational related or maybe a case study, and then another one would be a humorous post, because I remember that there was this point on LinkedIn where LinkedIn would reward you heavily for like if your humorous post went viral, and it was like low effort. So I think in the process of maybe chasing numbers, I sort of diverted and I didn't have like a set strategy. But now, because I have multiple verticals and I have multiple target audience, what I do is I do three posts a week. So one is a personal story that I do, and I try to keep it very like moral oriented or something that is value based. So maybe like if I networked with someone, or if I read a book, or I heard a podcast, or if I observed something and then I feel like that can be dissected and that can be repurposed, that's something I put. It's top of the funnel, and apart from that, I do two middle of the funnel. So either I dissect brands or strategies or campaigns, and the third one is where I generally study the whole industry and then give my take on it. Or if I feel like there's a nice video that I watched, I repurpose that and then put it on LinkedIn in an easier way. So it's one top of the funnel and two middle of the funnel, and they revolve around marketing and strategy as of now. Personal branding is a little less because I think that's also because of the pivot we have had.
Hmm. So when it comes to content strategy, do you think that we should be using the emotional value pillars like educational, inspirational, or entertainment, or do you think that we should be focusing more on the funnel-based writing?
I think ideally, if you ask me, I think for me a good content mix would be a division of both, because again you can't have your content sound too preachy or too educational because that will actually start boring people. So what you can do is, even if you're putting out even if you're putting out something that's educational, maybe you can add your experience, like personalize it and laser focusedly write why it matters to you. Like make it controversial, have your opinion, make sure you hit that emotional trigger, write your insight, write your takeaway. So it necessarily need not need sorry, it necessarily need not be funnel, but it can be a mix of both. I would still say have the emotional element a lot, like emotional, educational, and entertainment. I think these three are at the core. Along with this, you can sort of figure out and work it around how you want your content strategy to look like based on the funnel.
Right. So what are the tools do you use for your client servicing or for your self?
So, primarily, I and my co-founder, we reach out on LinkedIn. So we use the Sales Navigator, and then apart from that, if we have to extract contacts or if we need help with outreach, then we use Signal Hire, Lucia, Lemlist, or Apollo for leads and scraping.
Mhm.
Apart from that, for writing content pieces, we use Perplexity, Claude, and GPT. We have the subscription. Uh, and then we also have Notion and Slack for workflows, like basic workflows.
Right.
And we have WhatsApp for like good communication. So, and yeah, also Taplio for competitor research on LinkedIn.
Awesome. So have you automated anything so far in your business?
Uh, we are in the process of it actually.
Hmm. So actually, right now, if you can see that ChatGPT is getting improved with time,
Correct,
and
correct,
there are a lot of people who are actually automating the entire process. I mean, if it's not
correct,
possible to automate the entire process, but it's actually possible to automate a certain parts, so your life becomes
correct.
easy. So do you have anything in mind like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think going forward, and something that's in the pipeline is to automate the entire outreach process. So
Hmm.
everything from lead scraping to, like messaging to getting them on a call. I think we would like to automate that because we also want to scale into other verticals. That's one. Second, I think, so doing the competitor research is a little time consuming. So we were planning of building an AI agent that can scrape and read from materials and then give us like a detailed strategy. So that is one that we are planning. And third, I would say maybe a better agent or a tool to sort of help us scrape leads, because
Right.
we operate in a very segmented niche. Like it's not even influencer marketing, it's LinkedIn influencer marketing. So to sort of get those funded startups or those companies that run ads and would want to invest, I think it's a task. So yeah, even for
Awesome.
that.
Awesome. So Vaishnavi 2026 is around the corner.
Yeah.
Till 2025, you have done a lot of things. In 2026, what are the things you want to change and you want to focus on?
One, I think I definitely want to cross 100K on LinkedIn. I really hope I can. I want to be more consistent from the personal profile on my LinkedIn. Second, I want to post more on the company page, and I think there's a certain number that I want to hit in terms of revenue as well for Confluence. We're also looking forward to more meaningful pivots and maybe having one or two more verticals where we can make a difference, and also to expand the team and maybe to hire more
Mhm.
for Confluence. And four, I think it's also to start Instagram. Like, I'm not sure when would I, but I think it's also to diversify sources of income and to maybe like get more into the social media side of making money, like digital products or consultation calls. So that's also something that I have in mind.
And when it comes to your personal growth or development, what are the things do you have in your
Personal growth, I want to travel more.
mind?
I love traveling, so I want to read more books. I
Hmm.
think I at least want to finish 10 books this the coming year.
Right.
Third, I want to network with more and more people, like from my niche and like the people I look up to. I definitely want to collaborate or meet them. I would also say I think I want to be a little less serious in life. Like I want to be more punctual and sleep on time, eat on time, be healthy, be a little less serious, and be more in the moment and sort of improve my overthinking aspect as well.
Amazing. So let's say if someone sees the podcast and wants to work with you, how they can contact you.
Awesome. So I'm on LinkedIn and my handle is Vaishnavi Bhupalam, and my headline would have building influence media and the Favikon part of it. So you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm on Quora as well, but I think email would be a better way. So my email is vaishnavi0533@gmail.com, and it's vaishnavi at the rate confluencemedia.com if they want to reach out. So yeah, my LinkedIn or my mail.
Awesome. So, like there are so many people who will be watching this podcast who are actually becoming a creator. So, what advice do you have for them?
One is don't get swayed by the vanity metrics because the real impact lies in what difference you give to the community and the sort of bonds you build along the way. Two, just focus on being authentic. Like, even if you take help of AI, it's completely fine, but don't just copy paste. Like, iterate and then put your take and make sure you curate it until it sounds like you. Three, don't copy trends because I feel like even though it might get you short term engagement or the short term virality, it'll fade with time. So
Mhm.
focus on being better. Like compare yourself to the past versions of you and not to other people. And four, give yourself a buffer time. Like it can be any platform that you're willing to grow on. Give yourself like maybe 3 weeks, I would say, and then study the platform, connect with people there, and understand how the platform works. Because one mistake that even I did was I just randomly started writing here. And then I think along the way, I built connections and I figured out how it works and all of that. So get a brief understanding as to how the platform works and make sure you know your why. Like, know your why, optimize your profile, and know your target audience and know what you want to talk about. Have like a content strategy in place and make sure you're confident and just do it no matter what because
Right.
people will say anyways.
That's amazing. So thank you, Vaishnavi, for coming today. It was my pleasure to have you in this podcast.
Thank you so
And
much.
as you are watching this podcast, make sure to reach out to Bhupalam if you want to say thank you to her. And if you want to learn from her, of course, she's on LinkedIn. You can easily find her and you can learn from her content. Or if you have any specific questions and you are going from this podcast, maybe you can just put her a DM. It will be an icebreaker, of course. And you can learn a lot from her. Make sure to keep following her on LinkedIn. And this podcast will help you to build your personal brand and create a brand from scratch, as well as help you grow it as well. So thank you, Vaishnavi, for coming today and sharing the golden nuggets.
Thank
I
you so
really
much.
appreciate you. I hope 26 will be the best year so far, best
Thank
year
you.
for you. More
Wishing you the same.
travel.
Wishing you the absolute same. I hope you kill it. You're already killing it. I hope you kill 10x more.
Awesome. Hope you will be traveling more. Hope you will be more spiritual, more
Yeah.
mindful, and more disciplined. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. Yes.